Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and I hope you're all doing well today. In this video, I'm going to discuss something that I see asked about in art forums and Facebook pages, and that is motivation. I see people asking all the time, how do you stay motivated? So I thought I would make a video about this. How do you stay motivated? How do you get inspiration? The lame truth is that as an artist, sometimes you have to work on your craft without your muse's consent. Feeling motivated and inspired are good feelings, and they make you feel enthusiastic and excited to work on your projects. However, pleasant as they may be, those feelings are still just emotions, and emotions are fleeting. They come and they go, and you can't rely on your emotions in order to do art. I'm not the first person to say this either. In 2019, Adam Duff from Lucid Pixel and Anthony Jones from Robot Pencil did a podcast together, where they had a discussion about aspiring artists who struggle with motivation. I'll link that video in the description, just in case you're interested. Anyway, Adam Duff and Anthony Jones are both professional artists who have worked in the industry. Adam has worked for Disney, Blizzard, and EA. Anthony, I think, has worked for Blizzard and Riot Games. So both of these guys are qualified professional artists. In that podcast, when they discussed motivation, Anthony mentioned how your artistic drive could be thought of as a fire. He elaborated on how you could go to a convention or listen to a podcast and feel inspired, but then when you get home to paint, you've lost it. He said that this was because that inspiring stimulation was like throwing a lot of fuel on your artistic fire, and it explodes into an eruption of creative flame inside of you. But then, when it burns out, you're left feeling uninspired. I'm going to jump around a little, but try to stay with me. I'm going to tie my thoughts together in the end. There are a handful of sayings that I'm sure all of you, at least most of you, have heard that I want to mention. The first one that comes to mind, because of its relevance to the topic, is the candle that burns the brightest burns out the fastest. This is metaphorical, I think, but the idea is that you only have so much fuel you can burn before it's gone. If a candle burns too bright and too hot, it will melt faster and burn through its wick quicker. To think about this on a much larger scale, it even applies to the cosmos. The stars that burn the brightest have the shortest lives. And it's for the same reason. They burn so brightly and release so much energy that they burn through all of their fuel more quickly. You and I, human beings, are no exception. The same limitation that applies to candles and the stars also applies to us. The second saying I want to talk about is Rome wasn't built in a day. And it wasn't. Nothing worthwhile ever is. This applies to us because I think there are some of us who try to build ourselves in a day, and you can't. The last saying I have for you is, slow and steady wins the race. Now I am sure you know the story of the tortoise and the hare. But just in case you don't know it, it is a story about a hare, or a rabbit, who challenges a tortoise to a race. You would think that, and take it for granted, that the hare should easily beat the tortoise in a race. After all, the tortoise is a slow creature and the hare is built for speed. What else do you need to know? If it's not obvious where this is going, the tortoise wins. The tortoise wins because the hare exhausts himself by sprinting as hard as he can. Then he needs to take a break, because he's too tired to keep going. The tortoise paces himself, as if he has a choice, and he wins the race, while the hare is taking one of his breaks. So, looping back to the original point, motivation comes and goes. So does inspiration. But if you want to do something, anything, then you need to understand your limits as a person. I don't mean artistic or athletic limits, I mean human limits. You need to have some discipline, you need to pace yourself, and you need to be patient. And you have to stay healthy. I studied psychology in college, and I really internalized Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Self-actualization was at the top of the hierarchy, but you can't aspire to that if you don't first attend to your basic needs. You need to get plenty of sleep, you need to eat good food, exercise, and spend some time with friends and family. Only then can you pursue creative personal growth and really get anywhere. You can disagree, but I'm going to stand by that. Anyway, here's the big point. You have to be self-motivated. It has to be a conscious, intentional effort, and I genuinely only believe you can truly invest in yourself like this if you've attended to both your physical and mental health. Otherwise, your effort won't be as fruitful, and I don't believe this only applies to art. I believe it applies to any skill or aspiration you want to pursue. Art, a sport, dance, karate, blacksmithing, you name it. You have to be disciplined, you have to be consistent, you have to study, and you have to practice, and you have to do it every day, even if only for a little bit. I would argue that if you have a day job, or if you're a full-time student, then just 30 minutes or an hour, just a bit every day. Be consistent. And don't burn yourself out. I have days when I am driven and inspired, and I'll get home from work, eat dinner, and then paint until passing out at my computer in the early hours of the morning. Other days, I'll sketch for 30 minutes to an hour and say I'm done. I met my quota, no more today. But I still try to use my art a little bit every day. Rome wasn't built in a day because slow and steady wins the race. If you try to build Rome in a day, you will realize how impossible the goal you set for yourself is, and you'll burn out, no matter how motivated you were when you started. Build yourself over time, patiently. Stoke the flames of your motivation daily, consistently. And I'll finish this talk by returning to the point of motivation. You can't wait for it, but you can fan your own flames. I personally collect how to draw books. I love art books. For video games, how to draw books, D&D monster manuals, whatever. I can look through them and get inspired. My brain fires up with ideas, and then I want to draw. You can also use Pinterest. Music is also amazing. Listen to music when you're drawing. That fits the mood of your art. It kind of gets you into the right mindset for what you're working on. Those things help me inspire myself. Explore what works for you. So my closing thoughts are, don't burn yourself out by trying to grow and build too much too fast. Be patient. Slow and steady wins the race. Work on yourself and your craft a little bit each day. And if your creative flames feel like embers, put some fuel on them. Go and look at an art book or listen to some music. Kickstart your creative mind. Because inspiration comes and goes, you can't rely on it. Not consistently. You have to learn to self-regulate and self-motivate. If you stuck around this long, then thanks for listening. I hope you got something out of this. Thank you for watching, and good luck in your endeavors.